Let's rock and review the anime Rock is a Lady's Modesty. 13 episodes, cool life, music, and a manga adaptation. Now, this being an anime all about the music, let me just tell you that it was awesome. The keyboards, the bass, the guitar, the drums. Throughout the episode, each instrument got their own moment to shine, especially in the last episode because in before, yes, each musical number were very solid. I really did enjoy them, but the musical number and the way they rock hard on stage in the last episode, now that one really got me going. That was the only musical number that I wanted me going for more. Now let's talk about the animation. Now, throughout the anime, there's, I would say, like three types of animation. There's the regular animation that you'll see throughout every episode, really solid. There's the very animated animation where the characters get very hype and they pop up the colors and do more thick outlines to really express the how each character are feeling, very animated, very well and out there. But there's also a third type of animation, 3D animation, because whenever the characters start playing their instrument, yes, they have to turn into 3D models. And that's to be expected because with the super hand movement, when a fast hand movement when playing the drums, or the fingers when playing the guitar or the bass, yes, they that would have been a hassle to animate all of that in 2D. So I would like it to be into the animation, but knowing how much of an extra work it would have been, I'm going to give it a pass. Now, I'm going to talk about each characters and at the same time talking about the story. So let's start with our the character that has the main focus on her, and Lilisa. Now, Lilisa came from humble backgrounds, nothing special, but all of a sudden, her mother, well, not her mother, sorry, her father decided to get a divorce and pretty much abandon them both. Now, my theory, because the only thing that we watch in that quick flashback scene is only the divorce papers on the table, and that's it. So my personal theory is that that piece of shit was because he was a musician playing the guitar. I think that he joined a band, abandoned his family, decided to join a band and a tour around the country or something. So in order to fulfill his dream, he decided to abandon his family. That's my personal theory because it was never explained. Was this a case where he was a good father but a crappy husband? It was never revealed. The only thing that we saw of the father is super cool father teaching Lilisa from a very young age to play the guitar, being the role model towards her, and her love for the guitar. But who knows? Maybe he was a super crappy husband, not bringing much to when it comes to the table, when it comes to money or anything like that, or responsibilities. So yes, and that really left the mother scarred because when she hit big and married to a rich family, yeah, that really scarred her. Like I said, it was never rebuilt. But man, she was cuckoo because she wants to forget everything that came before she married to her new husband. Whenever Lisa or even her new stepdaughter mentioned anything about about her past or was their life before this new marriage, she goes, her life eyes become lifeless and she goes, oh, there was nothing before, there's only now. It was just crazy. Now let's talk about. Sorry, I went talking about her mother, but let's continue talking about Lilisa. Well, like I said, Lilisa now with her newfound environment in a very rich upper class family. Well, she wants to prove herself, learning manners, learning violins, and even setting off on her own personal goals of becoming the school noble maiden that I first thought that it was something imposed by her mother or father or somebody, but no, it's her own personal goal. No, nobody's forcing it on her. She just wants to do that to prove that yes, she belongs into this new family. But she had to give up one of her deep loves, that being the guitar, but she stumbled upon Otoha that revives the love of the guitar back towards her by challenging her and even insulting her, flipping the bird and everything, really igniting a fire into Lilisa. And now let me move on to Otoha. Now, Otoha, she look, Otoha, when it comes to she, the only thing that we learn mostly about her is that she really loves the drums. What came? Why she Lilisa even asked her, "Hey, does your family know? Are they okay with you playing the drums?" But Otoha is very. She doesn't reveal much, but it's implied that there's a certain family. She has a family situation, but it was never revealed. So maybe in a second season, if they ever do that. But yes, they were implying that she has a certain family situation, that maybe they're not okay with it, or maybe she's doing it on the download, playing the drums. Who knows? But one last thing that I can say about Otoha is that she is going to grow up to be a beautiful MILF, because in one episode she literally does the whole hand on the cheeks and going ara ara and everything. You when a girl does that, you know that she's going to be a banger. I have a banger body and be a class MILF. Now, those two are honestly the most important characters. There are other two more characters, being Tina, who plays the keyboards, and we have Tamaki, who plays the bass. But we don't learn too much about them. The two of them came in the tail end of the first season, so their own personal life or their own personal struggles. Well, with Titina, is simply that she's idolized as the school prince, and wanting to do something that is only hers, she decides just to simply do the keyboards because she wants to do something that she herself decided upon and not somebody else imposed upon her. And Tamaki, she likes the bass. That's the only thing that we learn about her, and a little bit of a measure is we wanting to Otoha insulting her and degrade her. Mostly that's it. Now, these four characters decide to form a band, an instrumental band, no vocals nor nothing, but just for the love of the music, and really put front and center the way that these instruments can shine on stage without any vocals. It was very good. So I'm going to leave it here. I am going to give this anime a score a 6, a 6 out of 10. I was debating giving it a 7 because the music and everything was very good, but I think that with many of the characters we only got a really surface level when it comes to information and getting to know more about them. Yes, the music was very good, but the story needed a more tweaking, make it a little bit more interesting, something apart from the music. But that's just me. So I'm going to leave it here. So have a good day, have a good night, wherever you're from. See you in the next video.